Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story with Igdalia. We have Joelle. How are
What
you
up? What
doing
up?
today?
I'm chilling, chilling. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. How did you get into podcasting?
Well, it was weird because I was actually recovering from stomach surgery and I had nothing to do. I was recovering. And a friend of mine was like, hey, would you be interested in doing some co hosting? But it wasn't as consistent as I wanted it to be or liked it to be. And he always said that, yo, you'd be good. You'd be good if you go on your own. And one thing led to another. And here we are. It's been a long road. I mean, from using two cell phones, because I didn't have anything else, and
Hmm.
just earphones to, it's been a long road. It's been fun.
Yeah. What obstacles have you faced since you've started?
In what aspect? Like in life or just as a in the show aspect?
Just, usually when we want to start something, a new journey in our life, we get hit with everything, whether it be business related or whether it be family, just
Okay.
life decides to test you and be like, hey,
Got you.
do you really want
Got
to
you.
do this?
Got you. I got you. In the beginning, the issue I had was with sponsorships. I would get these sponsors and it seemed like each one was ripping me off. Each and every time I'm like, damn, maybe I shouldn't even do with sponsors. So I just dealt with it with no sponsors. But
Hmm.
aside from health issues that had me, cancel rescheduling shows or having people do no shows in the beginning, that was a lot that would happen. Now it's just much more easier. But that in itself can get discouraging. And it did get discouraging, but as I got better and better, more confident, and confident level was something that was important because it was took me almost 4 years to be able to do this visually because of my anxiety and all that. And even before every show, excuse me, I have little panic attacks before everything, whether it's an amateur, professional, no matter who it is.
Hmm.
And that's something that helps me cope as well. Once I get settled in, I get in the groove and it helps me forget what's going on in life.
Yeah. What motivates you to keep pushing forward?
Giving something for my kids to look back and say, that's my daddy. That was him.
That's beautiful. How many kids
Yeah.
do you have?
I have three, 19, 16, and 3. Oh my goodness, that 3-year-old is something else.
How do you find that balance to be a father and trying to do your business? And because I know
It-
you have posts where you've had to go to the hospital. How do you find
mhm.
the balance between all that?
Well, I'm a bit of a different breed. I've actually done shows from my hospital bed with IVs on me and machines going on in the background. So I do find ways sometimes. Like as like now in the last year, it's gotten more difficult because more deeper health issues. But it just the balance is the secret is his whole family. We're all in this together. We all have a part in this somehow, whether it's promoting or designing something or editing. We all have a hand in it. I just keep it within the family.
How long have you been doing podcasts?
4 years, almost 4 years.
Okay. And in those 4 years,
Mhm.
what interview stands out the most for you?
Hmm, that's a good question. There's quite a bit of them. There's a couple, and I'll give you if it's okay, I'll give you bits and pieces of them.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'll give you William Knight. You want in New England? There's one. William Knight is always someone that I love to talk to. He's
Mhm.
someone that always is as raw gets, and some of my best content is with Will, like
Mhm.
off the jump. Vanessa Demopoulos, when she first started, I mean, this was before she was even a pro. We
Mhm.
had a session with other women and myself for sexual assault or victim and survivors,
Mhm.
and she said something that will always stand out with me. And I'm someone that has a very strong stance against pedophilia and people that assault women and children.
Mhm.
So she said, I've been assaulted more than a dozen times. She was a dancer back then. She just recently quit, but back then she was really into it heavy. And she had been assaulted by them. And she said she forgave each and every one of them. And he's even friends with some of them to this
Mhm.
day. That's something that stood out to me. And that's something that I could never wrap my head around. Just a couple
Yeah.
examples. And Cyborg, that in itself was an amazing experience.
Mhm. Oh, wow.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. It's just that's a good question. You caught me off guard. I love it. I love it. I love it.
If you could go back to when you
Mhm.
started, would you still do this?
Yeah, I would. But I would do it a bit differently. I would dedicate myself a bit more. And even though I dedicated myself a lot back then, doing 2-hour sessions with one person. That was
Mhm.
terrible. I mean, it was, oh my god, never again, never again. And the only thing I would do differently would be that not do a 2-hour format, because there was someone, I don't want to give that person any limelight,
Mhm.
so I won't bring that person up. But that person, oh yeah, you got to do 2-hour shows, and I was learning, so I'm learning the ropes, and I'm trying
Mhm.
to get advice from wherever I can get. And I was doing these, and I don't want to curse, so I'll try to curse. I was doing these darn long sessions of 2 hours, and I mean, I have one with Tatiana Suarez, almost 2.5 hours, and we were just talking like we were just talking on the phone, like
Mhm.
forever. But in looking back in hindsight, that's what I would change.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult because I mean I did the same thing in the beginning as well.
Hmm.
But I mean it's all different because everybody has a story and
Yep.
you know and the thing is like we can listen to it and we can spend all day, but not everybody knows what's coming. So they may
Hmm.
not tune in and then they go back and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know," and it's just like it's just difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like just to like cut it off so quickly, especially when they're really opening up, and
Yeah.
that's one thing that people don't really understand is that these fighters are humans. These
Yep.
fighters are people. Um and it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah.
Um I now have you done Spanish interviews or just
Yes,
strictly
I have.
English?
I've done Spanish. Um, Gustavo Trujillo, uh, Levi Marroquin from Mexico. Crap. Patty Juarez, BYB. There's
Hmm.
been a couple. Those are nerve wracking because I got that Puerto Rican slang Spanish. So I'm like, coño, I wonder if they're gonna understand the word I'm saying. It's gonna mean the same thing. But they understand me. They got me. They got me. I've done, yeah. There's another Cuban, a couple of Cubans from Miami too. But that's the worst. 'Cause I be using that slang, and then like I was like, all right, let me Gustavo Trujillo, he's the one that I was like, listen, yo estoy nervioso. Yo no hago
Uh-huh.
esto normalmente en español. He's like, listen, as much as you're learning, and I mean, I know Spanish. But he's like, as much as you're struggling with your Spanish, I'm struggling with my English. I was like, all right,
Hmm.
let's go. That broke the ice right there.
Yeah, that's been my issue. My struggle is I am so afraid because there's so many words that are different, and I don't want to either one they don't understand me, or two I look like a complete idiot because then they're like, you know, even outside of this, do you know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
like meeting people and they're talking, we got judged because you're like, oh, she's Puerto Rican, she don't know how to speak no Spanish, or she's
Yep.
this or she's that, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, but it's still Spanish and you understood me. So it's kind of like, and even like interchanging like el boxeo, el puño, el codo, la
Yep.
rodilla, you know what I mean? And then it's like
Mm-hmm.
another, you know what I mean? They're like, what? And it's just like, no, no, but so it's like you have to make sure that it's consistent and
Yeah.
like está luchando, está peleando, está el
Mm-hmm.
combate, and it's just like, okay, so which one am I gonna use with who and
Yep.
why, and which one is like the more general one? It's
Yep.
kind
Yep.
of like, I don't know.
Nah, I
It's
feel you.
something that it is what it is. What when you first started, and even
Mm-hmm.
compared to now,
Uh-huh.
what has been one aspect of this field that has stood out to you?
Aspect. Can you kind of
Like, okay, like for me,
uh-huh.
I'm a woman.
Okay.
So going into this particular field, it's kind of like, okay, well, I got to step it up
Right.
because I got to prove that I know what
Okay,
I'm
I got
talking
you.
about.
I got you. I got you.
And you know what I mean? So it's like, how have you faced anything like that? Have you?
Well, the my secret is I've always been myself from the very beginning. Like,
Mhm.
and not that everybody else isn't. I felt that, like, I've only done one interview with notes. I have never done interviews, and that was Cyborg. I don't do interviews with notes because I feel, to me personally, I feel like reading off a paper is not genuine to me. I feel like I'm like a robot reading off a paper.
Mhm.
So that's one. And coño, I lost my train of thought. Hate it when it happens.
So that's another aspect that you.
Yes, yes. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Man, I knew I was getting somewhere. I hate it when that happens. But oh yeah, here we go. The aspect of, for me, was I've always, there's a lot of other shows out there that talk about the same stuff, the same
Mhm,
fighting, the oh, what are you doing this, the fight camp that, and this and that. It's always the same repetitive things.
mhm,
I took the approach of asking those questions that other people wouldn't want to ask, and I do
mhm,
it in a way where I find myself having these amazing answers that I thought I would never get, because I
mhm,
do it in a level that for some reason, and I mean this, I don't even know why, but I've known so many people, and through this, what I've done, that we became good friends because of that,
mhm,
because of the conversations we had. And it's like, wow, like why me? Like because of your, your sincerity, how you are, this is how you always are. I've never changed it up, man. Like
mhm,
to me, like asking these questions, like if I'm hearing something, I want to hear about a person. I know what they do on the TV. I see that. I want to know what's up. How did they come up? What struggles they had in life. There's addiction, alcoholism, things like that that people don't want to talk. Mental health. That's something a lot of
mhm,
people don't like to talk about.
mhm. No, I agree. It's hard to distinguish because there's so people who like the drama. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they like to
Hmm.
create drama, and
Yep.
and it's not necessary.
I've
How
done
do
it. I did
you?
that. I did that too in the
Oh,
beginning. I've done it too. I ain't gonna front. I done it too. And with New England as well. I mean, New England, I have a little bit of history, but
oh,
that,
please do tell.
well, I don't want to bring that up again. I really don't want to
But
bring
you
that up
haven't
again.
brought it up to me, so technically you didn't bring it up.
Shit. All right. Well, anyway, this was, and I'm sure this will eventually resurface again. But anyway, a couple years back, there was a boxing match that took place with two females in New England.
Okay.
The one girl that lost apparently was announced the winner first. Then they swapped it to the other one after allegedly that other person's coach approached the judges table. Anyway,
Mhm.
long story short, I was approached to interview her and get her side of the story. I don't remember what I said exactly. I just know I said some shit, some stuff myself about some personal thoughts.
Mhm.
It didn't sit well with some people, so let's just say that was it. But other than that,
Mm.
New England and I got some cool peoples over there.
Why did you accept my interview?
Why?
Because I'm from New England.
I love for New England. I have nothing but love for New England. But why did I do that? I'll be honest. I've been asked before to do this.
Yeah.
Aside from the anxiety on camera, I just never felt ready. And you know how
Mhm.
many times I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." Oh, I
Yeah.
can't do it. But it was all because something always came up.
Yeah.
But honestly, I support and I love what you do. Being
Oh,
Puerto
thank
Rican myself and seeing a Puerto Rican woman doing what you do, because in combat sports alone, you already know what it is. It's a lot of males doing this, but to
you.
see a
Mhm.
female Puerto Rican do it, that's dope. How can I not
Oh,
support?
thank you. I feel
Of
special.
course. You're welcome.
Yeah, I know it's difficult, to find a balance
Mhm.
between life and family, business. And I know you've had a lot going on, but yet you've still been, you know, on point. You've still done what you needed to do, handled it, and it's you know what I won't lie. It's been interesting to see because it's like you do all your interviews and stuff, and then people don't even know to like after you post it, like 5-10 minutes later, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go into the ER again, and it's just like,
Yep.
what? Like
Yep.
what?
Yep.
Like you just posted that you
Yeah.
you were doing this, and now all of a sudden, yeah, I'm gonna go and do, and it's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's something that people either don't know or don't see, or they turn a blind eye, but it's not easy. I struggle, trying to find the balance between business and life and all this stuff, but I don't have a lot of health issues. And then you are
Yeah.
doing that, but then when you have three girls, obviously one of them is going to get sick. On top of that, you're sick. So it's
Yeah.
like it's something that people need to see and understand that
Hmm. Let me break
it's
this down
not
to you.
simple.
Let me.
You're gonna break it
I
down.
shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here talking to you. That's number one. Damn, I don't like to really remember the time because it was, first of all, I have no memory of that entire year. I think it was 2012. It was about 11 years ago, 10, 11 years. I can't really remember the exact date.
Hmm.
But anyway, my daughter was about 6 years old. Yeah, she's 16 now, so 10 years ago. It was two something in the afternoon. I was asleep, which is unusual. And my CPAP machine wasn't on me. So I was unresponsive. When my wife turned me around, I was completely blue. I had died. I had a heart attack because of the CPAP machine. I
Mhm.
have tachycardia, so it triggered a lot of different things. So it triggered a heart attack. It triggered a stroke. Then on top of that, my vomit went in, and I aspirated my vomit. So I was dead for 30 minutes. I was revived. When I woke up, I went right into the coma. My mother told my wife, pull the plug. He ain't gonna make it. She's like, no, he's gonna fight for his kids. He's gonna make it. 3.5 days later, I freaking woke up. And I'll never forget that sound when I opened my eyes. Tubes down my throat was like a boom, like a loud sound. And I'm looking around like that, and my hands like this on the railing. And
Yeah.
I see my wife, and I'm crying. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, you'll be all right, you're right. And to this day, I still have issues with memory. I still have issues
Mhm.
with stuttering, slurring my words. But I'm grateful to be here. I mean, I'm grateful to be here between that, between my mental health issues and causing me to let that get the best of me and having two failed suicide attempts. I'm glad I freaking suck at it because I'm still here. But I just been through a lot, and all of it has made me much stronger because what my kids see is they see a mom with lupus, RA,
Mhm.
OA, diabetes, has had multiple amputations already due to circulation issues.
Mhm.
They see their dad who's the way he is, but what they also see is we don't let that get the best of us. We don't let
Mhm.
that define what we're gonna do. We just push it. And I've been homeless. Me and my wife have been homeless when she was pregnant. I mean, we've been through it all. I mean, the only thing that we never had was our light shut off, but we've been through it all. But we're still here. And because of that, I have experienced so much in life that there's a possibility that the guests that I interview, I've been through. I mean, you name it, I've been through things that children should not experience as children. Um,
Mhm.
Addiction. I mean, I've been through, you name it, I've done it. Not done it, but I've been through it. Addiction, meaning that was prescription meds when I had back surgery at 20 years old. I was uneducated on medication. I was given Percocet, Valium, Vicodin, Soma. I mean, these were all at once. And
Wow.
I would take them as I was supposed to. But once that ran out, I was like, my body got into shock. And
Mhm.
cold turkey, thank God is done. Even now, when I have surgeries, I don't even take meds. I eat that. I smoke because I smoke, but I don't take meds.
Wow. That's like I knew you, and I know we've spoken before and you've told me, different things, but I wow. That's all I can say is wow. And your daughters are very lucky.
Yes,
People can see it as, and I don't know because I don't like see you guys, to see like your wife and you and all that. And from the outside, maybe people are like, oh, what are they going through? And, maybe they're being judgmental.
I'm sorry. I'm from
Okay.
Jersey, and Jersey, I'm used to seeing different people. Where I
Mhm.
live at now in PA is a very small town, very close minded, and man, that's you just heard a small chapter of my life. You haven't even heard the
Mhm.
chapter of me being here. That's for the next time. That you've racism like you've never like I've never seen before. Bullying, my kids being bullied. I mean, I got stories. I mean, it's been bad, but we make the best of it.
Yeah, we
We do what
have
we
to,
gotta do.
especially for our
Mm,
kids.
exactly.
Um, then that's what they see. That you guys are
Yeah.
fighters.
Oh, for
You
sure. For
know,
sure.
um, day in and day out, you guys are fighting, and you're showing them that you don't quit, you don't give up.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that you had two failed attempts. I'm not glad that you attempted it, but I'm glad
Of course.
they failed.
Yeah.
Um, because they need you.
Hmm.
Your girls need you. Your wife
These
needs
were.
you.
This was like my kids weren't. Well, yeah, my first kid wasn't born yet. The second time, it was maybe like 5 years later. So yeah, I mean, it was dumb. In hindsight, I was young. I was stupid. I'm 40 years old now. I learned a lot. I've been around the block. I've seen a
Yeah,
lot, and you know, you just learn from your mistakes, and it's a good thing because now you know what to teach your kids not to do.
exactly. Yeah. It's not easy, and people
Nope.
think life is easy and it's, oh, you're doing this and you're doing that, but it's not. It's not that easy. And it's worth
Hmm.
it. That's what we have to remember. It's that it's worth it. Yes, we struggle. Yes, we have anxiety. Yes, we have panic attacks. Yes, we have triggers. Yes, we
Yep.
have flashbacks. It's us being here for our family, for our kids, even for ourselves.
Hmm.
It's worth it because
Yep.
sometimes we forget and we want to put everybody else ahead of ourselves. We want to
Yeah.
Be there for, in your case, your wife and your girls and all that. But at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't be there for them. Just like when they say
Hmm.
on the plane, before you put your mask on anybody else, put your oxygen mask on first, and then you can help somebody else.
Hmm.
And it's once you've gone through so many different things, it gets difficult to remember. Like, because we want to pretend. We want to
Hmm.
go through the motions of life. And then we disassociate, because all these traumas and all these things and our body reacts a certain way. We need to give ourselves the ability to either grieve the
Hmm.
process, allow ourselves to actually experience it, and not penalize ourselves, not punish ourselves because we are going through these things. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, it's going to make us better. We're not, and this is something that people might confuse, because people say, "Oh, I'm so glad that this happened to me." No, we're not glad that it happened. We're glad that we learned from it. We're glad that we took that experience and we made it something positive,
Hmm.
because we will never be who we were before. And
Right.
sometimes we get stuck thinking, "Oh, I want to be that person. I want to be that person. I want to be that person. I want to be that person." That person no longer exists. No matter how much you want to be that person,
Yeah.
no longer exists. And it's okay. Now we have a new normal. Now we have to just make the best of it and show others that we can make it. Show others
Yeah.
that there was an obstacle, it didn't stop us. And
Yeah.
it's easy to say, but once we've experienced so many things in life, it makes it easier, because it's like you've gone through a lot of stuff in life and
Hmm.
people think it's easy. But the thing is, like, you had to go through so much in life
Yeah.
to take this experience and make it look easy. You make it look easy,
Yeah.
but it's because you've gone through so much. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
what people don't want to understand. It's like, no, 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 no. It's not easy. No, we're not faking it. It's that we've gone through so much that we can make it look easy.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's not easy, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
And we're able to give back
Yeah.
because we've gone through so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who, well, not who, but
Hmm.
maybe Yahoo. But anyways, in this career that you have,
Okay. All right. All right.
right? Have you ever bumped heads with anybody?
Hell yeah, I have. Of course. And that goes back to what I was saying. That goes back to what I was saying from the beginning when,
Yeah.
when I would have people that I was friends with, like legitimate friends with on the show, and we would talk a lot of, I don't know if you can curse on your show, so I'm trying not to curse. We would
I
talk
know. I
a
see you
lot of
trying really hard.
we we would talk a lot of smack, and sometimes I would kind of like forget that we were talking on the air, and I would like, yo, but you're gonna do this and that and that and that. And that's when I learned I can't do that. You can't do that on the air. You can't do that. But yeah, if it's happened, and then actually had somebody hit me up, and he's like, yo, I'll do your show. I was like, oh, word, let's do it. He's like, but first, you got to call me. We got to talk. I was like, oh, snap. I know what this is about. I was like, we spoke, and he was like, yo, he's like, it kind of caught me off guard because we were cool. We cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
listen, there was nothing personal. Like if I have you, I would do the same thing. We talk about
Yeah.
your opponent. But that was back then. Now is times where I don't do that. Like I keep it
Hmm.
strictly professional. I let them talk their garbage, but I will
Yeah.
not say my piece. And if I ever do now, it's because they had to come into them and it's warranted, and I have receipts. That's the only reason I would do it. But even that,
Yeah.
that's not me. That's not me. I don't do that. I don't cause drama. I don't. In the beginning, I was trying to figure out what I was doing,
Hmm.
and now this is the right formula. Like now, I can do this with my eyes closed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a lot different than it was before.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's different. And it's important because it's like we have to set the example
Mm-hmm.
as far as who we are, why we do what we do. Because if we don't do it correctly, then not only are we giving ourselves a bad name, but we're giving the whole organization, the whole
Yeah.
industry a bad name. And we
Mm-hmm.
want to set ourselves apart from that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. If you could give anybody advice who
Mhm.
wants to start this journey, what would
Okay.
you give them?
Patience. You have to have patience. You're gonna have people that are gonna that are gonna cancel on you, that are gonna leave you hanging. You're gonna have times where you feel that it's not worth it. Is it all? You're gonna have times where you don't have a single listen or a single view. You'll
Hmm.
have times where you'll have 1,000, but in the beginning, you'll start with those 0, 1, 10, 15, 20. The whole point of the game is don't get discouraged, because the moment you just get discouraged, that's when you start taking steps back. Now, also recommend to get out of your comfort zone. That's
Hmm.
something very important. Also, be respectful when you ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask them. But when you do ask them, also do it in a way that it doesn't come off like you're being condescending, like you're being intrusive. Do it in a way where you show compassion and care for that person, like you actually give a damn.
Yeah, that's very important. That's
Yeah.
key,
Yeah.
is to let them know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not
Exactly.
about views. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not about, because let's be real, everybody wants to do this, but they don't understand that it takes a lot.
Yeah.
It looks easy. Yeah, it looks easy and it's great. And we have to, all of us have respect for one another. Have you, because I know in the beginning you said you have a certain thing like against, pedophiles and all that
Oh,
stuff.
I
Have
mean
you,
that's always been like that. That's that. It's not.
no,
It's not. Yeah, but good. I got it.
it's
I'm
no, and
serious.
I get it. I don't. I mean, I'm
Of
not.
course.
I'm not for that. Just let me
Of
just
course.
clarify.
Of
Has
course.
not.
Of
I
course. Of
wasn't.
course.
Let
Of
me
course.
just make sure. You know what I mean? Like
You
clarify.
straight. You straight. You
No,
straight.
I'm
You good.
saying, have you ever interviewed somebody that you found out was, or that
Yo,
you?
yo, yes, yes, yes. I'm guessing that's happened to you too, because there's a reason why you asked me that question, but it did. It was actually with I don't even want to say his name, but it came out, and this was a time where there was a bare knuckle organization coming out. This was before BKFC and all that. I mean, it was coming out. It never really did it. All the fighters got scanned. It was terrible. But anyway, the person that was running that had certain people that he wanted on. So this is again in the beginning. So I
Yeah.
didn't do the proper research, which I should
Mhm.
have done. The next day I find out dude was hit with trying to pimp out a 12-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl, something like that. I was like, yo, what the? I took that, I deleted it right away. It made my skin crawl, it made my stomach turn, but yeah, it's happened.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's why I research. Another thing that people know, research is important, because you just never know. You never know. I mean, I've had, you know, like Greg Hardy. I've had him on the show, but that was business. Like, and I'll tell you what, I have the uncut version. There was some questions that he would not answer.
Hmm.
Like he did not. He refused to answer. I can't answer that. Legally, I can't answer that. But overall, I can make someone that's this bad look amazing. And that's a
Hmm.
key thing in what we do, that we can make someone that has such a bad background look like such an amazing person. And that's
Hmm.
a gift that we have, because not everybody can do that. I mean, that's a good thing or bad, but I'm saying we can. We can. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
I've
we have to keep
had
it professional.
right, right. I mean, I've had people that I would think, yo, they're gonna really come on here, they're gonna be ignorant, they're gonna act a fool, and on the contrary, it ended up being great, great content.
Hmm.
I guess sometimes you can't believe what you see on TV.
Of
You know what I'm
course.
saying? Like, because that's what I thought at that point with that particular guest. I was like, yo, he's pretty animated. This should be
Yeah.
interesting. But it was very good, because why? I asked him different things that normally don't get told to him. So
Hmm.
it made the conversation go from what normally be at 100 down to here where it was mellow and he was calm,
Hmm.
and it was good.
Have you had issues with promotions?
Um,
Just
that goes
feeling a
back to
certain way? Huh?
what we spoke about earlier. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just bringing it
yeah,
back.
but not. I don't have any issues with them. And that was back then. Like now, I mean, I'll share the
Hmm.
event, their event stuff. I don't care. That's just, to me, that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? That stuff like that happens, is someone's bound to cover it. Someone's bound to talk about it. It just happened to
Hmm.
be me at that point. But honestly, in stuff like that, I would rather it be me, someone like myself or someone like you, because there's not many of us out there that really do the way we should be doing it. It's all about the drama. It's all about being intrusive
Hmm.
and just starting stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just to get those likes and those views and those little stars. I said it
Hmm.
from the jump. I hate the term media. I never associate myself with the term media. I do this because I love what I do,
Hmm.
and I've done this out of pocket, because this is what, if I want to do something, I got to make it happen.
Hmm.
So you got that. If you want to follow something, you got to make it happen one way or another.
It has to be your passion in order to do it, because a lot
Yeah,
of
it
people
does.
start and then they just stop. And I'm not talking about people who've gone through like a family emergency and they can't
Hmm.
do it, or a health issue or something, and they put it on hold until they can get back
Right.
to it. But I'm talking about people who have been caught up in trying to create drama that isn't there, and then eventually it's their downfall.
Yeah. That's it.
You
Yep.
know.
So
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know
this was
you're on
different.
vacation.
No,
I
definitely not
know.
vacation. Definitely not vacation. Freaking pipe burst. All my first floors flooded, and then I mean it was. I guess it was a combination of both because my water heater also went. So it was a combination of both. And oh man, I know a lot of my stuff got ruined in the basement. I could tell you that right now.
Mm,
And then upstairs también, but that's all right. We get to stay here for 2 days, get some relaxation. I got my stuff with me. I'm straight.
yeah. See, your mini vacation. It
There you
was a
go.
forced vacation, but you got it.
There you go. There you go.
We got to look at the bright side, right?
Absolute. Always, always, always.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This was different. I'm not used to ever doing this, and I didn't know what to expect. This was dope. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
What up? What up? Because I'm an amateur, I forgot to do my shout outs during my interview. So shout out to my sponsors, Turp House Farms. Check them out at turphousefarms.com. That's farms with a Z at the end. Synergy Brand, hit them up on Instagram for all your microdosing needs at Synergy Brand _ and Gonzalo at Gremlin Jiu Jitsu. I appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter, Beyond _ Cage MMA, Facebook, and Instagram. Beyond the Cage Ritual Podcast. Everybody, peace.